Peace, everybody. It's Jamal Abdul Bay. I'm in the Narragansett territory. They fraudulently call it Rhode Island. I wanted to do a live answering of the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs Restoration of Consular Court questions. There's 100 questions. And I wanted to do it live. There's 108 questions. I want to do it live because, one, I hate taking tests. Two, I get nervous during tests. And three, I kind of wanted it to be like a group a group effort, you know what I mean? Like, even though I'm nervous and I hate taking tests, I still wanted to do it live, and you know, for other Moors too who also might be nervous and you know might hate taking tests too. But yeah, so this is for Consular Court, the Juror Questionnaire, so to be a jurist within the Consular Court. So the first question is, in law, what is a writ? Now, I know a writ is a letter, right? I know that an affidavit is it's like a lawful response, but I don't know what, you know what I mean, the actual, like, literal definition off the top of my head is. So I'm going to go, since the open book test, I'm going to go to Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, to see what a writ is. And then I'll try to, you know, answer it according to what I got out of it, you know. So a writ is a precept in writing couched in the form of a letter. So I said a letter, so it's a letter. Running in the name of the king, a president or state, issuing from a court of justice and sealed with its seal, addressed to a sheriff or other officer of the law. Now, what is a precept? I don't know what a precept is. So I'm going to go to this book, American Dictionary of English Language, look up what a precept is. Precept. Make sure I'm spelling that right. Precept. It's kind of small, I don't have a desk. Precept. In law, a command or mandate in writing. So a writ is a command or mandate in writing. So that's the first question of the Juror Questionnaire from the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. So a writ is a command in writing / a letter written to a court or officer, because I know sheriffs or officers. So number 2, in law, what is an affidavit? Now, an affidavit is also a written response, and I know affidavits are like duly affirmed, so you have 2 witnesses on them, and an affidavit at law unrebutted stands as truth, so it's pretty much truth in writing. But since it's also an open book again, I'm going to go to the law book and see what it actually reads about what an affidavit is in law. So an affidavit in law, let's see if I'm spelling it right. Affidavit, a written or printed declaration or statement of facts made voluntary and confirmed by an oath or affirmation of the party making it. So a writ is a command, an affidavit is a declaration or statement of facts. So a writ is a command, an affidavit is a printed or written declaration of or statement of facts. So that's the second question. Now number 3 is describe and identify the distinct differences between a writ and an affidavit, and how are these instruments similar? Well, they're both written instruments. They're both can be used lawfully. The only difference is an affidavit is like a declaration or presentment of facts, and a writ is a command. So you don't really command things in a declaration, right? So I guess that would be my answer. A writ is a command, and affidavit is used for declaration, but both are or can be written by hand and used in a lawful or legal, I guess, capacity. Right? Number 4. Why must we, Moors of northwestern Mexam, fly our colors as customarily displayed upon our lawful instruments? Our lawful and legal documents and instruments. So that is because when nations are talking to other nations, you got to know who you're talking to. Also, since we've been branded black, we've been declared lost at sea. So those are my answers. So we must fly our colors, which is our flag, because we have been branded black and lost at sea. So in order to display allegiance to our nation, we display our national standard. That's number 4. So number 5 is, what is a maxim of law? A maxim is a principle. A principle or a guideline. Now just because, I'm going to go into the law book and see what a maxim is. Maxim. Maxim in law. Now I know I'm right, but I'm just doing it for the record. A maxim are but attempted general statements or rules of law and are law only to extent of application in adjudicated cases. An established principle or proposition, a principle of law universally admitted as being a correct statement of the law or as agreeable by reason. So yeah, maxim is principle. Precept. We already went that, okay. So that's number 5. Number 6 is, what is a precept? We already established in the American Heritage Dictionary that a precept is a command. A precept is a command. Number 7. What is the meaning of primogeniture? I'm pretty sure that's like the earliest ancestor. Pretty sure. So, since I'm unsure, and it's an open book test, I'm going to go to the law dictionary and see what a primogeniture is. Primo. Primogeniture is the state of being the firstborn among several children of the same parents. Seniority by birth in the same family. The superior or exclusive right possessed by the eldest son, and particularly his right to succeed to the estate of his ancestor, and right of his seniority by birth to the exclusion of younger sons. So, I was wrong. So it's the right to be given an estate because you're an elder of the born children. That's what I'm guessing. So primogeniture is the right of the eldest born child to possess an estate. Number 8. What is the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science? Number 8. What are they? They are divine instructions and maxims laid out to us to be followed by our prophet, and noble, Drew Ali. Number 9. What is the general function of a consular court? I know consular courts deal with diversities of citizenship, so the citizens of one country, so like in the Constitution where it talks about diversity, it's the citizen of one state, so one country, in controversy with another country, and the officials or the nationals of each country come together and they litigate whatever situations in front of them. So let's say us being Moors, if we have any controversy with any of these Europeans on our land, we would go to a consular court venue. So there would be, let's say I'm the defendant or whatever, I would be the defendant, and then I have the body of Moors, us working together, and then it would be the European accusing me, and then whatever, let's say French, right? A Frenchman, and then his French people, and we come with our flags, representing our nation, and then we come with our laws, so we come with our constitutional bylaws, we would come with the Constitution or any treaties made between us and them. That's what my interpretation of a consular court is. So a consular court is a court of a nation in one country, a consular court is a court of one nation in one country. Wait, a consular court is a court of a nation, right? Nation. Okay, a court of a different nation in a foreign country to deal with issues of diversity. Now, to see if I'm right, which hopefully I am. Right. Let's check Law Dictionary to see what a consular court is. Consular, C-O-N-S-U-L-A-R. C-O-N, right, S-U. Council courts. Courts held by Courts held by the consuls of one country within the territory of another, under authority given by treaty for the settlement of cases. In some instances, they also have criminal jurisdiction. But in this respect, are subject to review by courts of the home government. So mine was, a consular court is a court of a different nation in a foreign country to deal with issues of diversity. So kind of the same thing. What was number 10? Number 10 is, so remember this is, so I know I got new viewers. This is from the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, the Restoration of Council Court Juror Questionnaire. There's 108 questions. I'm on question number 10, right? Yeah, question number 10. Who is Charles Moseley Bay, often referred to as CM Bay? Now I know CM Bay is one of the members who was part of the Adept Chamber when Drew Ali was on the scene. Bring the camera. Bring them on camera. Bring who on camera? The questions? Is that what we're talking about? I got terrible lighting in here. So I'm on number 10. Number 10 is who is Charles Moseley Bay? So I know CM Bay is one of the members of Noble Drew Ali's Adept Chamber. Number 11 is, now I don't really know, I don't have any books to cross-reference that, but that's just what my answer is. 11 is, what did CM Bay do in his 1947 copyrighted works with regard to and relationship to Consular Court? Shit. What did he do? I know he registered it with the Library of Congress. I know that. That's where I'm gonna put that. All right. Number 12 is, what is the practice of law? The practice of law is law in its application. That's my guess. Well, that's not my guess, that's my answer. The practice of law is law in its application. Or, I would say practice, but that's not really, I can't answer the question with the question. Or it's, let's see. I don't know, that's all I got, I guess. So, let's just look what the Law Dictionary have to say of what the practice of law is. Bring them on camera. I'm not sure what that is. Alright, practice law. Practice is repeated or customary action, habitual performance, a succession of acts of similar kind, a habit. What was there? Practice of law, though. It's practice. Oh, practice of law. Not limited to appearing in court or advising and assisting in the conduct of litigation, but embracing the preparations of pleadings and other papers, incident to actions, and special proceedings, conveyancing, the preparation of legal instruments of all kinds, and the giving of all legal advice to clients. So it's law. So if you write an affidavit, you're practicing law. If you read the Constitution, you're practicing law. If let me see what else. If you go to court, you're practicing law. Preparation of legal instruments. So again, if you write an affidavit, if you write a will, if you create a trust, because it says preparation of legal instruments of all kinds, right? So if you create a will, if you create a contract, you're practicing law. That's pretty much what it is. So I guess the practice of law is law in its application. Yeah, so that was my answer. 13 is, what is the difference between enforcing law and that of practicing law? So practicing law is law in its application. Enforcing law, I would say, is ensuring that the practice of law happens. That would be my guess. So that's what I'm going to write down. Actually, I'm going to write ensuring that the practice of law happens lawfully. Because, it could happen and be unlawful. So I'm going to look up enforcing law in the law book. Again, this is Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Enforce, right? So enforcing law, this just has enforce and enforceable, enforcement, and that's it. So let's go into what enforcement is. Enforcement is the act of investigating with any dignity or possession. Oh, enforcement, my bad. That's not enforcement. Here's enforce. To put into execution, to cause to take effect, to make effective, as to enforce a writ, a judgment, or the collection of a debt or fine, to compel obedience to. Enforceable, the word enforceable, standing alone, does not mean perform or performable, but when employed in contracts for performance of obligation relating to venue, it is synonymous with the word execute and must be given meaning to perform, performable and to perform. So it's making sure it happens. That was 13. Number 14 is, in law, what is personam jurisdiction? Personam jurisdiction is jurisdiction over the person. I gotta make sure I'm okay. Is juris of the person. Number 15 is, now if you guys want me to go into that, let me know and I'll go into it. Because I don't want to keep going into the law book if I think I know I'm right, you know what I mean? 15 is, in law, what is subject matter? Subject matter is like classification of law, right? Subject matter is dealing with issues, in particular to a legal issue, right? Dealings with issues and in particular to, dealing with matters in particular to a legal issue. That is my answer to what subject matter jurisdiction is. Now, since I'm unsure, and it's an open book, I'm going to go to the law book. Subject matter. The subject or matter presented for consideration, the thing in dispute, the right to which one party claims as against the other, as the right to divorce. So it's the subject. Well, that's okay. The matter presented for consideration. So that's what it is. So my answer was classification of law dealing with the matter in particular to a legal issue. So I said use the word matter, right? And that's what it said. It says the subject or matter presented for consideration. So I guess it's the same thing. I'll keep it in my words. 16 is, what is territorial jurisdiction? Territorial jurisdiction is jurisdiction of land. The right to adjudicate on issues in regards to where you are. So the king of England wouldn't have territorial jurisdiction over China because he's the king of England, not the king of China. So I don't really know how to put that in words, so I'm just gonna look it up. But I know what it is. I just don't know how to say it. So let's be as efficient as we can be. Territorial jurisdiction. Territory over which a government or subdivision thereof has jurisdiction. Jurisdiction considered as limited to cases arising or persons residing within a defined territory as a country, judicial district, etc. The authority of any court is limited to the boundaries thus fixed. So, it's what I said, just better. I really don't know how to put that in words. I don't know. Let me know what you would answer that. So I'm just going to skip that. 17. What are known as the 7 elements of jurisdiction? I have no idea. So I'm going to skip that. 18. What is the dominion of ancient Africa? The dominion of ancient Africa is Egypt, west. West. Even onto the Atlantic Ocean, because we controlled the seas back in the day. The Atlantic islands, the Caribbean, and North, Central, and South Mexum / America, to include the adjoining islands, i.e. Hawaii, Hawaii, Haiti, Borican, etc. That was 18. No, number 19 is, why is the booklet Quran Questionnaire for Moorish Americans in essence an affidavit? It's an affidavit because it wasn't hold on, let me see. Oh, it's an affidavit because it's a declaration. Because it answers, like, this test would be considered an affidavit, right? Make sure I'm using affidavit. Yeah, it's a declaration. Yeah, so this would be my declared answer. So the Quran questions for Moorish Americans is an affidavit because the answers to the questions are declarations, right? And since it was unrebutted, it stands as truth. So an affidavit in law, unrebutted, stands as truth. So number 20 is, if a legal document is not rebutted, nor responded to, nor refuted, what becomes the status of the said legal document? So, truth. Or prima facie evidence. 21. What is your nationality? 21. My nationality is Moorish American. Moorish American. Give the definition of nationality. Number 22. Nationality is that quality or character that one derives from belonging to a nation, and it also establishes what nation you have allegiance to. So once you say you're a Moorish American, that means you have allegiance to your Moorish bloodline. If you say you're German, that means you have allegiance to your German bloodline. So nationality is your bloodline, and when uttered, is a declaration of your political allegiance. So that was number 22. Now I'm going to give the definition of what nationality is from the law book. So again, I keep getting viewers in and out. This is the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, Restoration of Council Court, Juror Questions. There's 108. I'm on number 22. Give the definition of nationality. So nationality, and my answer was, well, you heard my answer. So nationality is that quality or character which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or state. Nationality determines the political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance. And then it keeps going. While domicile determines his civil status. And then it says nationality arises either by birth or by naturalization. We already know it's a fraud. You can't belong to someone's bloodline through legal process. That's erroneous, right? So nationality arises from your birth because it's your bloodline. Number 23. Describe the flag of the Moorish Americans. Well, it's right here. So it's a red, what's it called? Canton or red field. Red field with the 5-pointed green star Venus in the center. It is the mother of all flags. That's my definition. 24. What is civics? Civics is the science of government. Now, that was my answer. I'm going to see what the law book says. What civics is. So this is questions to be qualified as a juror or jurist. So hopefully, as a jurist, I would know what civics is, right? So let's see if I'm anywhere near civics. Civic. Pretty sure civics. Where am I? 24 civics. Well, civic is pertaining to a city or citizen or to citizenship. That's all it reads. So, I guess I'm right. I don't know. So the law book says 25. What state were you born in? That's kind of a tricky question. Because the definition of state is a body politic of men bound together by common law. So I guess my state would be Morocco, right? But I was born in my mother's womb. Not sure I answered it, so I'm just going to put Morocco. Because a nation is a state. You already know the name of this country is Morocco, so that's what that's my answer. What estate were you born to? Were you born to? See? This is interesting. Let's see what a state is. Let's see what state is first. Tricky. This is why I don't like tests. Good thing I got this open book test. I would have been in the room sweating. State. State. So one's a verb, one's a noun. So state is to express the particulars of a thing in writing or in words. Noun, state. So state as in the noun form is a people permanently occupying a fixed territory bound together by common law habits, and custom into one body politic, exercising through the medium of an organized government. One of the commonwealths, blah, blah, blah. People of state. I have to go to what estate is. Estate. Estate. The interest which one has in lands. An estate in lands, tenements, and hereditaments signifies, so I guess it would be Moorish estates. That'll be my answer. So number 25 is what state were you born in? My answer was Morocco. Number 26 is which estate were you born to? So that would be Moorish estates. Let me know what your answer is. 27. What does allodial mean? Allodial means free of any lord. Allodial means free of any superior lord, landlord, right? Or lien, or fee. So free of any lord, superior, or fee. That is allodial. Now I'm going to double check. Free, not holding of any lord or superior, owned without obligation or vassalage. 28. Make sure I'm not running out of time. Okay, I got somewhere to be at 9:30. 28. What is allodium? Allodium's right here. Land held absolutely in one's own right. So land held in one's own right. Absolute ownership. So 29. What criminality in misprision happened or took place on Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia state at North America, and how did it affect the allodial effects of the state? 29. The United States Corporation Company, through its agents, sold the positional power, or the positional administration of power of the overthrown Moorish imperial divan over to, right? The United States Corporation Company, through its agents, sold the positional administrative powers of the overthrown Moorish imperial divan over to the European Roman papacy / Pope. So they sold it to the Pope. Number 30. Oh, and how did it affect allodial effects of state? They placed mortgages and deeds, which is an ownership. So they removed the allodial ownership of us, conversion, so a transfer never took place, and gave it to the Romans, or the popes in Rome, and placed a fraudulent debt on us. So they stole our land, pretty much, in a feudal way, right? How did that affect? So it removed allodial titles of ownership. So number 30. What's up? My little sister.
Hi.
Etc. So let's look at what feudal is, because I know that's not the exact definition. Spell right. Yeah. Skipped a few letters. We'll get there. Feud. F-E. Alright, feudal. F-E-U. Feud. Feudal law. The body of jurisprudence relating to feuds. The real property law of the feudal system. Excuse me. The law anciently regulating the property relations of lord and vassal, and the creation, incidence, and transmission of feudal estates. The body of law and usages continuing the feudal law was originally customary and unwritten, but a compilation was made in the 12th century called Feudrium. I'm guessing that's Latin or French, and I'm not sure what the other word's saying. which has formed the basis of later digests. The feudal law prevailed over Europe from the 12th to the 14th century and was introduced into England at the Norman Conquest, where it formed the entire basis of the law of real property until. So you said the 12th and 14th century. That's when they were kicking us out of Spain and stealing our stuff. So that sounds to me like it's their acts of conversion. That's what it sounds like. Because, law and history go together, so since it mentioned that timeline, 12th to the 14th century, that's when they were stealing our stuff. That's, the Inquisitions and the Crusades. Well, yeah, the Crusades. So that would be my answer. So feud is something that can be argued, disputed, or be proven as fraud. So that's my answer. 31. What is colonialism? Colonialism, so ism is a practice of something. A colonist is someone who populates a land that's not theirs. So colonialism to me is the practice of superimposing yourself / nation / people / jurisdiction. So the practice of superimposing yourself, nation, people, jurisdiction, over another people / nation / jurisdiction. So that was 31. 32 is, how do you obtain title to your estate? 32. How do you obtain title to your estate? You would have to you would get it through reversion. Well, Because in order for someone else to have title, there must be a chain of title, so you have to track if that title was transferred. And if it's through conversion, it's based off the assumption that it's abandoned. So to get that, you would declare your status as a beneficiary. That's my answer. How do you obtain title to your state / our state? So declare your status as a beneficiary / national, if you're talking about the government and the land and stuff like that. Because, I mean, the state doesn't necessarily mean the government, right? That's my guess, or my answer. 33. In terms of Moabite Moorish law, traditions, and customs, what are the duties of an ill? What are the duties of a bey? So an L is similar to the legislative branch of government. Branch of government. So the or like Congress / or parentheses Congress. The writers or the makers, the creators of law. And the bey is similar. I should know this because my name is Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey. Hopefully I would know this. Similar. Anyone with a title should know what the title is, right? Similar to the executive branch of government, being the law enforcers / governors / landlords / sheriffs / sheiks / sagamores / shakam / magi / what else are we? Did I say sheriff? Yes, I sheriffs. Chief. A chief. What else? That's pretty detailed. 34. What is a covenant? A covenant is a trust. Covenant, COVENANT, is a trust. Right? Go to the law book. See what a covenant is. What is a covenant? COVE. Good thing this is open book. Covenant. The name of a common law form of action which lies for the recovery of damages for breach of a covenant. What? Or contract under seal. Covenants may be classified according to several distinct principles of division. In common law practice, any agreement, whether under seal or not, so it's an agreement. Law of contracts. An agreement, convention, or promise of two or more parties by deed and writing, signed, sealed, and delivered, by which either of the parties pledges himself to the other that something is either done or shall be done, or stipulates for the truth of certain facts. So the covenant is like a will, a trust, whatever. Oh, this is getting annoying. This thing's in the way. There we go. So that's my answer for a covenant. 34. 35. What is the Moorish covenant? I know that's in the Circle 7. I'm going to say, honor thy mothers and thy fathers. Mothers and thy fathers. So thy days may be lengthened on the earth, land. 36. What is a will or testament? A will or testament is similar to a covenant or constitution or trust, instrument, etc. 37. In law or in trust, what are administrators used for? Administrators are used for the execution of a trust, i.e., they have a debt or performance obligation to the trust. 38. What does part and parcel mean? 38. I know part and parcel means part. I know they essentially mean the same thing. But I know parcel specifically means part of land. So part means conjoined with something. And parcel means specifically part of land. Now let me read parcel. For the record, part. So part, an integral portion, something essentially belonging to a larger whole. Parcel, parcel. Yeah, P-A-R. Oh. Parcel. Parcel. To divide an estate. That's a verb. Parcel. A small package or bundle. The word parcel is not a sufficient description of the property alleged in an indictment to have been stolen. Okay, that's legal case. Stare decisis. So parcel. A part or portion of land. State versus Jordan. Yeah, so a part or portion of land. 39. What is government? Government is the organized body. Government is chosen representatives. What is government? I know it's governing the mind. Organizing your mind. I can't explain that one. That's tricky. I don't know how I would explain it. I know what it is, I just don't know how I would explain it. Structure. I don't know, let's just go to what it is. Because I can do that all day. I got somewhere to be. E, F, G. Government. From Latin, I'm not even going to try to say that word, signifies the instrument, the helm, whereby the ship to which the state was comprised was guided on its course by the gruberanter or helmsman. And in that view, the government is but an agency of the state, distinguished as it must be in accurate thought from its scheme and machinery of government. The system of polity in a state. So structure, that's what I was trying to say. So no reason I was having difficulty. That form of fundamental rules and principles by which a nation or state is governed, or by which individual members of a body politic are to regulate their social actions. So it's a system of regulation. So government is a system of regulation. 40. According to the Organic American Constitution for the United States of 1791, how many branches of government are there in its structure? 3 branches of government, and it says name them. So it's number 40. So how many branches of government are there in this country? 3 branches. 1. Legislative. Charged with the creation of law. 2. Executive. Charged with the enforcement of law. 3, judicial branch. So the branches are legislative branch, executive branch, and the judicial branch. So I'm just putting legislative, executive, and judicial. Charged with the interpretation of law. Checks and balances. That makes sense. 41. What does jurisdiction mean? Jurisdiction is, or jurisdiction, 2 words. It's a compound word, right? Yeah. From juris, meaning right or positive law, and diction, meaning to study or the science of or the philosophy of. Now, I know that because I looked it up. But if you go to etymonline.com, Edymon Online, you can look up jurisprudence, and it'll tell you from juris, right, prudence, everything I just said. So yeah, that's what jurisprudence is. So juris is jurisdiction. Wait, I'm in the wrong definition right now. I just gave it for jurisprudence in this jurisdiction. All right, jurisdiction is juris. So juris is right. Right. Diction is words. So juris, diction. I'm thinking of jurisprudence. Wow, what a brain fart, right? So juris is right or positive law. Diction is words. So jurisdiction is the power or ability to speak or have a legitimate and overall say in something, or judgment. So jurisdiction is juris, meaning right or positive law. Diction is words. So jurisdiction is the ability to speak or have legitimate and overall say in something, or judgment. So let's just read that for the record. Jurisdiction. It is the authority by which courts and judicial officers take cognizance of and decide cases. The legal right by which judges exercise their authority. Excuse me. It is the authority, capacity, power, or right to act. 42. What did it mean in law when the former de jure Congress for the Organic United States of America joined Sine Die in the year 1861? Well, Sine Die means without day. So that means Congress was officially dissolved. So I know when, like, if you're starting a business, and every time, like, the board of directors meet for that business, the secretary is charged with letting everyone know when they're going to meet up again, so that they don't adjourn sine die, so that they know that this thing is continuing. So when you adjourn sine die, meaning you don't set up another day, that means everyone just goes home and they live their life and they never come back. That's what that means. 43. Why is the Dred Scott case of 1857 so important? Because it clearly displays the civilly dead status of Moors claiming to be black, i.e. Christian property, civil liter mortuus, dead in the eyes of the law. It was declared or decreed plaintiff in error because property cannot own property. So let's look up plaintiff in error. Plaintiff in error. Plaintiff. Plaintiff in error. The party who sues out a writ of error to review a judgment or other proceeding at law. That's what it says. Right. Plaintiff, a person who brings an action, the party who complains or sues in a personal action and is named on the record. So plaintiff in error. So property can't own property. He was in error. He can't bring charges if he's property. So my shoes can't go to court and sue me for not tying them because they're my property. I can do whatever I want with them. 44. In process of law, what is a plaintiff? So plaintiff is a person who brings an action. It's almost like they wanted to give me the next answer, you know? Plaintiff is a person who brings suit or action, right? Yeah. 45. In process of law, what is a claimant? A claimant is someone just making a claim. That's my guess. Right? That's what I would guess. So let me just look that up, because I've never looked up this word before. Claim. Claimant. Claimant, right? Claimant, yeah. As used in estate proceedings, persons interested in the estate as heirs. So a person making a claim, is that what I said? As used in statutes regarding processing tax refunds. One from whom tax has been collected. One who claims or asserts a right, demand or claim. Yeah, so someone who makes a claim. One who claims a right. So, one who makes a claim. Makes a claim. 46. What is a defendant? Defendant is one combating charges. Right? That's mine. Defendant is someone refuting allegations being made against them. That's mine. That's my answer. So a defendant Defendant, the person defending or denying, the person defending or denying, the party against whom relief or recovery is sought in an action or suit. So, the person denying claims. 47. What is a fictitious plaintiff? A fictitious plaintiff is a fake plaintiff. A fake plaintiff. So when they say like the state of Rhode Island is suing you, that's fake. The state of Rhode Island can't do nothing. It's like saying composition notebook is suing Jamal. That's fictitious. That's fake. $48. What is an official oath? An official oath is a promise to perform a duty. That's my answer, so let's look up. I don't even know if it's in here. Let's just see if it is. Official oath. Official oath. Oath is probably in here. Let's look up oath. Oath. Any form of assertion by which a person signifies that he is bound in consequence to perform an act faithfully and truthfully. So mine was, an official oath is a promise to perform a duty. Okay. 49. What is an obligation? An obligation is an oath. Is an oath or a debt. 50. What is the outcome of the slander involving Dungy versus Spencer? Dungy versus Spencer is, the outcome was clearly establishing that William Dungy was in fact a Moor and not black, i.e. clearly presenting his status on the record. 51. What does pro se? I know pro se litigant is someone who is presenting themselves and litigating a legitimate issue, but this just says pro se. I know pro se is similar to improper personas, but I'm just going to look it up. Since this is an open book test, what would it be? Per process. Would it be in the beginning of this? With these dictionaries, they always, like if it's Latin, they'll either put it, yeah, they put it on something. Pro se. For himself, in his own behalf, in person. Pro se is in person. 52. Why is hearsay evidence inadmissible in a court of competent jurisdiction? Hearsay evidence is inadmissible because it can't be proven as true. It cannot be proven as true. Now, since when we're dealing with law, we're dealing with truth and fact. So if it's hearsay, if it can't be proven by fact or truth, then it's inadmissible. Like, that's like saying, well, you know, I seen the composition notebook beat up Jamal, and well, first of all, a composition notebook can't do anything. Second of all, you have footage of it, you know what I mean? So, that's that. 53. Give a brief synopsis of the Clearfield Doctrine of 1942. Clearfield synopsis of the Clearfield Doctrine states that governments cannot force anyone to pay in anyone else's private instruments. 54. According to divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science / Moorish Science Temple of America, what are the delegated powers of a Grand Sheikh and Chairman? To create and enforce law. 55. Name the 5 principles related to or symbolized by the 5-pointed star in the Moorish flag. Let's see if I know this one. Love. Oh, let me see. Truth. Truth. What else? Peace. What else? Freedom. And justice. 56. Wait. Yeah, 56. According to Act 3 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, what must not be done on any occasion? I believe that is to drink and speak about pretty much anyone or anything. So let me just, hold on. Yeah, let me just, since it's open book test, let me get the answer. Open book, right? Act 3, right? Act 3. Oh. Wait. Act 3. Yeah, Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own family, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I shall have the power rest my hand. Huh? I don't know how to answer that. What must not be done? Oh, I guess it meant Act 4. Because Act 4 says, all members while making a public speech must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against any church or member. So I was kind of on the same thing. I remember in one of his literatures, one of the prophets' literature said don't drink and, start talking about more stuff. So I guess they meant Act 4, what must not be done. So, again, I'll read that again. While making public speeches, you must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So, that's probably why I was confused. Do not, or don't make any radical speeches about any person. Remember, in person, there's 2 types of persons: national and official, so that covers any organization or any person in the organization. And refrain from disrespecting our Moorish / American / Moroccan flag. 57. In reference to divine constitutional bylaws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, why are we Moors said to be part and parcel of the said government? Because we are aboriginal and indigenous. Hello. We are aboriginal and indigenous. So again, for the viewers, this is the the questionnaire to become a jurist, and this was issued from the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. 108 questions. I'm on question 57. Now I'm on 58. Are you familiar with the Rudder and Sextant Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs? I heard of it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the charter or anything like that. So yes. I guess. If you are familiar with this, what is the imperial divan? The imperial divan, right? Divan is the structure of the Moorish government. The preservation of this structure is preserved. The preservation of the structure is exemplified within the three branches of government, as well as the structure of Masonic orders. 60. Etymologically, what does the noun contract mean? Contract. Etymologically, what does it mean? I would have to go to the etymology book. Contract. It's not in this one. Let's see if it's in this one. I know this book has etymology in it. Contract. What is a contract? I know a contract is an agreement, but it's asking for specifically the etymology of the word contract. Contract. Verb transitive from contro, contractum, con plus taro, to draw. So to draw together or nearer. To draw into a less compass, either in length or breadth. To shorten, to abridge, to narrow, to lessen, to shrink, to become shorter or narrower. To bargain, to make a mutual agreement. So the Latin is contro, C-O-N-T-R-A-H-O. So I'm going to put that. The word contract is derived from Moorish Latin, C-O-N-T-R-A-H-O, con and T-R-A-H-O, to draw, to draw together. That's what I got. All right, 61. Let's see what time I got. Okay. In law, what are the primal elements of a contract? Let me see. Consent. Disclosure. Parties must not be minors. It cannot request the performance of any any unlawful activity. 5 must, so consent, so I guess consent would be meeting of the minds too. Disclosure, parties must not be minors. Must contain a signature, let's say wet ink signature. Must not be vague. So the performance of the contract must not be vague. That's all I got for elements of a contract. 62. What is the significance of chapter 29 of the Circle 7 of Moorish Holy Temple of Science? I have to get it because I don't remember off the top of my head. Chapter 29. What is the significance of it? 10, 29, 15, 19, 21, 23, 29. Magistrate and subject. The significance of it? To display the honorable relationships of let me just read it, I guess. Yeah, okay. It's to display the honorable positions of government. That would be my, or to hint towards what to hold elected officials to. That would be my answer. 62. Chapter 29 is a guide or a measuring stick as to what standard we should hold elected officials to, especially in honorable positions like government. 63. According to chapter 39 of the Circle 7 of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, what is the pinnacle of wisdom? 39. 3, 31, 34, 35. Pinnacle of wisdom is always uneven. I'll go with this one. A good death is better than an evil life. Strive therefore to live to live as long as thou oughtest, not as long as thou can. While thy life is to others worth more than thy death, it is thy duty to preserve it. What is the pinnacle of wisdom? I would say to do good deeds. Learn to esteem as thou ought. Then art thou near the pinnacle of wisdom. So what does that mean? Let's look that up. Esteem. Hold on, what's going on my computer? Etimononline.com. Learn to esteem as thou ought, then art thou near the pinnacle of wisdom. Esteem. Count, value, to value something. Noun. Mid 14th century. Account, value, worth. From French, estime. Esteem, verb, to determine. From Latin, esterime. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The value of something. So to value, as thou ought. What's ought mean? Thou oft not know what ought mean. To value what you own. Haha! There we go. Pinnacle of wisdom is to value what you own. Imagine that. That was a tough one. 64. In chapter 23 of the Circle 7, how is reference to astrology made evident? Chapter 23. Oh man. 23. Holy instructions for thy children. Oh, I think this is teach them obedience, teach them gratitude. I know it talks about teach him science and his life shall be useful. Teach him religion and his death shall be happy. That right there. I know that. Definitely. Prepare him early with instructions and season his mind with the maxims of truth. So verse, pretty much all of it. I mean, I don't know how to answer this either. I guess verse 3 and 13 specifically, I would say. So verse 3 and verse 16. Number 65. Oh man, how much time I got left? Explain chapter 4, verse 15 and 16 of the Circle 7. The man who stands upon the corner of a path but does not go is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. I feel like that doesn't really need explanation. And number 16, the teacher treads the way. I guess anyone can point. Anyone can point or talk. A true teacher walks. I mean, I feel like if you don't get what that's saying, how could you not? So it says, explain chapter 4, verse 15 and 16 of the Circle 7. And then it said, and this is verse 15, the man who stands up upon the corners of the path and points the way, but does not go, is just a pointer, and a block of wood could do the same. The teacher treads the way. On every span of ground he leaves his footprints clearly cut, which all can see and be assured that their master went that way. So, I mean, I feel like that's... I don't think you can explain that any simpler. Like, if Moors want to know what we need to do, let's look what Juror did. He provided literature, so what should Moors do? Provide literature. He had businesses in operation, so what should Moors do? Start businesses. He was selling herbs and stuff like that, so he had his own farmland. So Moors should have their own farmland. I feel like I don't know how to explain that. I guess I would put self-explanatory. Right? 66. Self-explanatory. 67. Compare and explain chapter 4, verses 14, and chapter 17, verses 44 and 45. Describe similarities and contrast. So here's 14, chapter 4. Men need a pattern for their lives. They like to follow, not lead. And then 44. You know that my life was one great drama for the sons of men. I have lived to show the possibilities of man. What I have done, all men can do, and what I am, all men shall be. So men need a pattern for their lives. That, I'm not going to write that down. That is kind of like, what I see is there's a lot of people who care about the cares of the world, especially the situation that our people are in. All they see is like death and destruction. So since that's all they see, that's all they're going to follow. That's all that's going to continue. And until they see something else, it is what it is. That's what it's going to be. But I mean, we also have a choice within ourselves to either follow that path of destruction or know that there's something else, because we all know internally that there's something else. But that's what I would explain that as. And then, so men need a pattern. That also, I mean, that explains also 44 as well. Know that all my life was one great drama for the sons of men. I have lived to show the possibilities of man. So when like the prophets come, we're out of whack. Every time the prophets comes, we're out of whack. So they come to show us like, this is what it is. What you were doing is not what it is. You know what I mean? So that's how I would explain it. And what I can do, what I have done, all men can do, and what I am, all men shall be. So that to me is like, every time the prophets come, the priesthood always, has the, Juror said he doesn't want us to following the ideas of men. The priesthood always makes it seem like there's some fairy tale angel guy that came down from the sky with magical wings and, these omnipotent guys, and no, you can't be like them because they're so divine. But, in the questionnaire it says, what is a prophet? A prophet is the thought of Allah. And then in the Circle 7 it says, all men is the thought of Allah, so that means we're all prophets, so we can all be that, you know what I mean? So we can all do what Juror did, and we all be what Juror did. That's what that's saying. 68. What is a charter? A charter grants permission. A charter grants permission. 69. See what time I got. Okay, I got a few minutes left. How many of large bodies of water are there on the earth? 5. 5 oceans. 5 oceans, 7 seas. 70. What is the significance of a national seal? It is the symbol or insignia of the nation and distinguishes and when used, distinguishes its user from other nations. That would be my answer. What is your understanding of the Universal Postal Code? I would assume universal, so universe, uni means one, verse means vibration. Postal has to do with mailing. Code has to do with like a list of things. So I guess it's how mailing communications is going to be regulated. That would be my educated guess. So that's what I'm going to say. It is the code upon the regulation of mailing communications. Now, let me just check. Why not? See what postal is. I'm pretty sure postal has to do with mail. I mean, I don't know everything, but I can make pretty good guesses. And if I don't know, I will look it up. Because I'm not trying to walk around thinking I'm smart and being a dummy. That doesn't help me at all. Post. Conveyance of letters. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm right. Let's just say I'm right. We'll see. 72. Why is knowledge and the functional comprehension of universal postal code important? Because every time these European colonial occupiers on our land sends us stuff in the mail, most of the time it's unsigned. You know, there's no official, stamp on it. So it's mail fraud. So we would have to know some of the laws or whatever that deal with, letters and stuff like that to know what's fraud and what's not. That's mine. So 73. What are unalienable rights? Unalienable rights and inalienable rights. So unalienable rights meaning it means a debt can't be placed on it. Inalienable rights, which is 74, means it can't be transferred to another. 75 is what is truth? Truth is ought. Truth is something that I gotta go soon, so I'm just trying to run through it. Truth is something that never changes, fades, or passes away. What is corpus delicti? Corpus delicti is a body of a crime or injured party. What is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus is a writ used to release a person who's been imprisoned unlawfully or illegally. So it means, you have the body, so release the body. That's what that is. 78. What does justice mean? Justice. Right. I know just means right. Tis, I'm not sure what that specific means. So, J. I know what justice is. I wouldn't know how to put that in words. Justice. Verb. To do justice, to see justice done, to summon one to do justice. Noun. In common law, the title given in England to the judge. Okay. A term used in the United States of England to designate judicial officers. Oh. So justice is a judicial officer. Like Chief Justice so-and-so. I thought it meant like the verb. It didn't identify which one. So I guess a judge. I'll just put a judge. What is liberty? Ooh. I know there's a difference between a privilege. Well, a liberty and a right. There's a difference between liberty and a right. So, liberty would have to be something that is given and that can be taken away. I'm running out of time. I'm almost done though. Liberty, freedom. Exemption from extraneous control. Freedom from all restraints, except such as are justly imposed by law. Freedom from restraint under conditions essential to equal enjoyment. So, under conditions, so it can be taken away. Right? Okay. Extraneous control. Wow, imagine that. Imagine that would be next. Let's look up that. Extraneous control. Strict control. That would be my guess. I'm pretty sure I've never seen this word before. Extraneous. Why is it not here? Oh, past it. Well, extraneous offense is one that is extra, beyond. Okay. So it's extra control. Extraneous evidence with reference to a contract, deed, will, writing. Extraneous evidence such as not furnished by that. Oh, so it's extra control. What is the Zodiac Constitution? Describe its philosophical components. Its philosophical component disciplines. I'm not sure to answer that question. I know the Constitution for the United States of America is based off the Constitution with its 7 articles, 10 Bill of Rights. The 7 represents 7 major planetary forces on this planet. 7 days of the week, 7 days of the month, 7 days of the year. You know, represents the sun, the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, sun, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. Also the 7 chakras. Also the 7 hermetic principles. Also the 7 holes in your head. Also the 7 continents. That's what I would answer. According to the Quran question for Moorish Americans, what does the word color mean? Color means anything painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. What are the significant differences between rights versus privileges? Rights cannot be taken away. Privileges are conditional. What is the political source of law? Political source of law? The people. In government, what does sovereignty mean? Absolute power. That would be my answer. So let's see what sovereignty is. It's a freedom to do something, to do anything. As we are divine beings, so we should have that, you know, as long as we don't harm anyone. Let's see how much time I got left. I got a few minutes. I'm trying to answer all of these questions. Trying to go through the alphabet here in my head. Alright. Sovereignty, supreme, absolute, and uncontrollable power. So that's what that is. What is a constitution? A constitution is a contract. It delegates power. So we'll just go into the law book. It treats the capacities and incapacities. Who can do what? It's a delegation of authority. It is the instrument that states how something will be ran, what rules are to be followed. Constitution. I'm thinking as I'm going through all of this, so none of this is like, you know, most of it is just what my answers were. I'm not the person who has the answers. Like, I'm not the one going to be grading the test. I'm just doing it. And I'm going to submit it. Constitution. In American law, so Constitution, the organic and fundamental law of a nation or state, which may be written or unwritten, establishing the character and conception of its government, laying the basic principles to which its internal life is to be conformed, organizing the government and regulating, distributing and limiting the functions of its different departments, and prescribing the extent and manner of the exercise of sovereign powers. In American law, the written instrument agreed upon by the people of the Union or of a particular state as the absolute rule or action and decision for all departments and officers of the government in respect to all the points covered by it, which must control until it shall be changed by the authority which established it, meaning the people, and in opposition to which they act or ordinance of any such department or officer is null and void. So anything against that, null and void. 8 parts of speech. I gotta write them down so I can get them all out. Let's see what page was I on. Where's my pen at? I'll use this one. 8 parts of speech. 1, Noun. Where's my pen? It's easier if I write them down, so I can get all of them. So 1 is the noun, pronoun. 3 is adjective, right? 4 is a verb. 5 is adverb. 6 would be preposition. 7 would be conjunction, right? Conjunction. Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction. What's the last one? What's the last part of speech that I'm missing? I know someone's watching. It says 2 viewers. So 8 parts of speech. 1 is noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction. What am I missing? I'm just going to Google it. Since y'all don't want to help me, I'll Google it. No one's gonna respond. Okay. 8 parts speech. Yep, noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition. Oh, interjection. I knew it. See, that's what happens when you doubt yourself. Interjection. What is the Moorish Divine and National Movement? The Moorish Divine and National Movement is the movement established by the great universal God Allah to redeem the Moors from their sunken state of blackness and to restore the Moorish estates back over to us by restoring our connection back to our ancestral lineage, us learning law, us learning ourselves, learning what land we're on, learning that it's our land, learning that we're not from some other place. The Moorish Divine National Movement is to correct the social, political, and economic problems of the world. That's what I got. That would be my answer. What is a municipality? A municipality is a subdivision of a state. A corporate state, right? That would be my answer. I know it's corporate. I believe. Wait, I'm like, hold on. Let me go to the alphabet again. Alright, I got a few more minutes, and then I have to leave because I told someone I was going to give them a ride. Yes, I'm still traveling on the road, even though they stole my car and beat me up. I'm still making it do what it do. Municipal. Municipality. Municipal corporation. Municipal. I don't know if they have municipality in here. Oh. A legally incorporated or duly authorized association of inhabitants of limited area for local, governmental, or other public purposes. So I was right. It's a political division of the state. That's what I said, right? I think I said corporation. I forgot what I said. A legally incorporated or duly authorized association of inhabitants of limited area for local, governmental, or other public purposes. What is trust? Trust is an established agreement between 2 or more parties. What is duty of a trustee? Trustee is the same thing as administrator to actually perform, the one performing the duties of the trust. Tacit acquiescence is the acceptance of something by being inactive. In government and civics, what is naturalization? Naturalization is the process of clothing a foreigner with privileges and accepting him as if he were native. So like I like to relate that to, excuse me, like the area that I'm in is so small. Everyone calls each other their cousin. So that would be like a form of naturalization. Like, yeah, you know, or like, as an example, when I was in the Marines, when I was in Japan, you know, I met one of my best friends there. He's from somewhere else, but we met and we're like family. So that's naturalization. I'm treating him as if he was like my own blood. So that's what naturalization is. Compare and contrast the words legal and lawful. Lawful is according to law. Legal is according to agreement. So, nature's law, right? Article 24, rights of indigenous people. We have the right to possess plants. That's lawful. So we have the lawful ability, due to nature, due to divine law, to have plants on us, like cannabis. Legal is like if I was a security guard at Walmart and I go through weapons training and I get mentally screened and I get a license to carry, then since I'm in a corporate capacity, since I'm doing it for a job, then I legally have the right to have that firearm for the performance of a duty, when otherwise regular people have the right, you know, it's lawful for them to bear arms. You see? So that's how I would explain it, if I was to explain it. According to the Islamic code, what can be said about the subject of citizenship in Morocco? Strictly speaking, there are no laws that treat citizenship in Morocco, but there are many treaties between our empire and the various Christian countries, you know, dealing with commerce and stuff like that. So if we're going to deal with citizenship, we would deal with nature's law here. As long as you treat us with respect and you're on our land, you know, we'll treat you as if you're native. But if you start disrespecting stuff, then you got to go. Where's the Moroccan Empire? Moroccan Empire is northwest Mexico. In constitutional government functions, what is the delegation of authority order? Delegation of authority order is a piece of paper handed to someone else, giving them strict, regulated, well-established powers of what they can and can't do. So when I was in the military, as an example, they gave us a promotion, right? They give us the piece of paper, we get it from a warrant officer, and they give us the piece of paper that says, you know, so-and-so has been promoted to this rank, here's their duty, here's their so-and-so. That's what that is. According to Moorish tradition and customs, how old in years is one required to be to become a qualified member of the Council of Elders? I don't know. I don't know. What are the Christian Black Codes of 1724? Christian Black Codes of 1724 is a list of like 100 and something articles that the European occupiers on our land created in order to agree on how they were to regulate their Christian property. One of those articles, Article 22 to be specific, names that or states that blacks can't own property. That's where the mortgages and the Indian titles come in. With one of the other questions about selling, you know, the government on Jekyll Island and affecting allodial property. That's what that is. What is a magistrate? A magistrate is a magi, a magician, a administrative clerk. Being Moorish Americans, what principles must we always customarily exercise? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. What is diversity? Interestingly enough, they give you the answer of diversity in this. So if you don't know the answer to that one, you can just go, they give it to you. So you can't. So diversity is essentially the condition of something or of someone being different. So there's that. Okay, so I got 9 minutes left. What is, and this is 103, what is subject matter jurisdiction? Jurisdiction over, wait, I thought we answered that already. I'm pretty sure we did that already. Territorial jurisdiction, we did that too. What year did the German, Dutch, European, and President of the United States Corporation, Dwight D. Eisenhower, relinquish jurisdiction in Morocco and also dissolve consular courts? 1956. And that's also, they also give you the answer in this as well. So if you read it, you'll have the majority of, I wouldn't say majority, but you'll have a lot of answers to the questions if you read it. Number 106, what is a quo warranto? A quo warranto is a writ requesting under what authority. So it's saying, what authority do you have, or under what warrant do you have to do what you're doing, or to say what you're saying, or whatever. So I'm just going to read exactly what it is. Quo, if I would get our W's and go to Q, right? Quo. Quo warranto. In Old English practice, a writ in the nature of a writ of right for the king against him who claimed or usurped any office, franchise, or liberty, to inquire by what authority he supposed his claim in order to determine the right. So, under what authority did you think you can do that, say that, or whatever? It lay also, I guess that means may, it may also, in case of non-user or long neglect of a franchise or misuser or abuse of it, being a writ commanding the defendant to show by what warrant he exercises such a franchise, having never had any grant of it, or having forfeited it by neglect or abuse. An extraordinary proceeding, prerogative in nature, addressed to preventing a continued exercise of authority unlawfully asserted. So, who's saying you can do this? That's what that means. What does venue mean? Venue means a place. Or that would be mine. I've never looked this word up, actually. I always assumed that I knew what it was, so let's just not assume anymore. Venue, formerly spelled V-I-S-N-E. In pleading in practice, a neighborhood. The neighborhood, place, or county in which an injury is declared to have been done, or fact declared to have happened. Also, the country or geographical division in which an action or prosecution is brought for trial, and which is to furnish the panels of juris. So that would be that's like jurisdiction. It relates only to the place where or territory within which either party may require case to be tried. Okay. Venue, as a matter of procedure, does not arise until an action is started. Venue does not refer to jurisdiction at all. Jurisdiction of the court means the inherent power to decide a case, whereas venue designates the particular country or city in which a court with jurisdiction may hear and determine the case. Oh, so venue's like, if I commit a crime in China, they cannot hear it in Germany. Okay, so I was wrong. Venue is not jurisdiction. Venue is literally the place. Okay. Number 108, what is a constitutional officer, as distinguished from one who arbitrarily claims a public office or trust? A constitutional officer is someone who's elected by the people or appointed by a person who was elected by the people and enforces constitutional law. And that is all 108 questions. So I just wanted to put that on the record before I go, that don't be afraid of what you don't know, because you might know what you thought you didn't know. I feel like all of us should have the confidence to at least take educated guesses, especially since we're dealing with consular courts, and that's part of our birthright, and these Europeans have been violating us, left and right, all day, every day. So it would be in everyone's interest to at least know some of these questions, or have an idea of the questions, or know the questions exist, or to help the movement side of this Moorish divine and national movement. A lot of these, Moorish groups and stuff like that, they just say the same things over and over. Like, so this is proof that there's no movement. Like, you're not moving towards, oh, this new information, that new information. It's just, we know this, and then we're stuck in this, we know this, so we're woke box, and we don't want to venture out and figure out what we don't know. So I wanted to show you that I don't know everything, but I'm still making an effort, and I'm still trying. So, you know, man knows not by being told, and we need a guide. So if you want to use me as a guide, as someone who doesn't know everything but still answer the questions and try to be confident, then do that. So it's like to end it. I don't know how long this was, but peace. Study, study, study. And if you ask me what to study next, I'll say study yourself. And I will personally say study Noble Drew Ali, because he's the truth. So peace, and I hope you enjoyed watching me answer the questions. I hope some of y'all have the same answers to some of the questions, and you know, feel free to let me know what you thought about the video. Peace. I would end it, but stuff keeps popping up on my phone.